Yo, what is up guys? It's Lobomon for game today, and we finally got an awesome match between blue hybrid versus purple yellow hybrid. So James is gonna go ahead and start off first. He's gonna digivolve his Bushi Agu in his raising. Then he's gonna go ahead and end turn, passing me 3 by dropping the Pokemon on the board. He's gonna top 5 check. He does hit a couple tamers. Not too sure if I saw a hybrid. No, he misses the hybrid actually. He's gonna go ahead and flush through his hand, and it looks like he does have the Koichi in hand already, so he may be able to go ahead and choose the analog youth or the Kari. At first, he's gonna go ahead and think about the Kari, but it looks like he's pretty certain on the analog youth. Yep, he's gonna go ahead and pass me 3. Now I start turn, I'm gonna go ahead and draw. I'm gonna hatch my raising. And I'm not too sure if I had the Syakumon or if it was the Modoki Betamon. Okay, it was the Modoki Betamon. I'm gonna go ahead and digivolve into that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and pass him 1 by playing the Sorenjo, which is gonna be really good because I'm either forcing him to attack with his Pokemon or he's gonna go ahead and leave it there and I gain 2 additional memory. He does decide to leave the Bushi in his raising, which is pretty interesting. He's gonna go ahead and pass me 1 by playing the analog youth. He does top 3 check and he actually does hit a Pokemon, the other 2 being an option and another analog youth, so that's done. I will start off with 3 memory. I will promote my Modoki Betamon. I do play the Davis to go ahead and put him to 1. I do hit off the Kumamon, which is actually pretty good, so I'm maintaining tempo at this point. And now James is gonna go ahead and decide to leave his Bushi in his raising once more. So he's not willing to attack just yet. I'm not too sure why, but from the looks of it, I guess he's trying to save the inheritable so he can go ahead and draw 1, if I'm not mistaken. Then deciding what he wants to do next, he's really thinking his next move. I do have a Davis on the board and I have Sora, so I'm going to be starting off with 5 as long as he leaves that Pokemon on the board. He does drop the Kari, putting me back to 3 because Davis, and then I gain the additional 2. And now I will go ahead and digivolve my Syakumon in my raising. Then I'm going to go ahead and promote my Davis into the Kumamon. And then I can go ahead and draw off that. Then I'm going to go ahead and just play the Beowulfmon. That way it's going to be cost 1. I'm going to bounce Kumamon back to my hand. And then I'm going to swing to security. It does swing into a Bushi, so it will survive this turn. And so at this point, he's debating if he wanted to go ahead and tap the Kari. We were chit-chatting what scenarios I would go into if you were to tap it. And he decides to do so, so he's going to put me at 1, and then I'm going to go ahead and drop the Strawberry, putting him at 2. I top 3 check. Susanomon's going to be bottom deck, but I'm able to add the Korikakumon and the Tommy, which is actually really good on my end. Now James is going to start off with 2 memory. He still has 4 security, and that's the reason why I think he left his Bushi in his raising. He's not ready to bring it out just because he wants to go ahead and maximize the value of that card with the inheritable. And because he has a purple tamer on the board, he's able to play the Schwarzazar. It's going to go ahead and wipe out my Modoki Betamon and my Beowulfmon. I'm actually going to go ahead and start off with 4, not 6 actually, just because Sorenjo only reads Digimons with no sources underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. I promote my Syakumon. I'm going to swing with my Strawberry. And it does reveal a Bushi in security, so that's the second Bushi revealed. I dropped the Davis to top 3 check. I'm going to add the Strawberry bottom decking the other 2 cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass turn by playing the Tommy on the board, putting him to 3, but I will prep up for next turn for Tamers, or for hybrids over Tamers for game. So I believe he's going to go ahead and finally decide to promote his Bushi Agu so he can maximize the value of that card. He's going to go ahead and attempt to swing into security. We'll draw 1 off due to the Eggs Inheritable. It will die from security because a Kumamon was revealed. And then he doesn't have much Tamers on the board. I'm not too sure if he has the hybrids to go into it either. But he does have 3 memories to work with, potentially dropping 2 Tamers on the board. I'm not too sure what he wanted to go ahead and go for actually, just because I do have game next turn if he doesn't clear out my Syakumon. So what he ended up deciding to do was to go ahead and drop the Pokemon. He's going to top 5 check. He does hit hybrids and a Koichi. He's going to go ahead and be able to add the Loimon and the Tamer itself, passing himself to 0. Then he's going to go ahead and I believe drop the Tamer on the board because I believe that's the most efficient play. Yep, he drops the Koichi. And then I'm going to go ahead and start off with 5 memory. I'm going to go ahead and hatch in my raising. I'm going to start cycling really quick. Syakumon's going to go ahead and attempt to swing. I'm going to draw with Upamon's effect. It does hit a mat, so he's going to start off 3 next turn. And that's kind of scary already because he's going to have enough memory and the additional refund. Then I'm going to go ahead and start promoting my Tommy into Korikakumon. Going to go ahead and stun the Pokemon, but I do swing into another mat, so he's able to add both those purple option cards. I go into a Davis with a Kumamon. Going to go ahead and swing in his last security. I did play the Hammer Spark. However, I landed another Kari on the board, so that's 3 Tamers from his security. He will tap the other Kari that's been on the board to put me at 1. And unfortunately, I'm not able to go ahead and go into another hybrid just because I don't have another Spark to play. So what I will do is play the Ice Wall. I'm going to go ahead and put him to 0. And then I'm going to pass turn from there. Just putting him at 3. I'm going to be playing safe anyway. So Ice Wall is going to be protecting me. He's going to go ahead and draw. And with all those Tamers on the board, if that came out early from security first, that would have been a lot better. But they had to be the last 3 when I was rushing in. He's under Ice Wall. He only has the Pokemon to swing. He is able to go ahead and Digivolve into one of his Tamers into a hybrid and refund 2 memory back so he can start off with 3 again. However, it may not be enough just because this Yakumon's also on the board. It's going to prevent him from Digivolving into his level 5 for 1 cost only. And Ice Wall's in the effect, so he's going to lose 2 additional memory every time he attacks. And there's nothing he can really much do from here, so we were just chit-chatting, trying to discuss, is there a way out? Does he play Jack Raid and things like that? But if he doesn't, I mean, there's no way he can actually like turn this around. And then from here, he's just going to go ahead and scoop it up, and we're going to go ahead and move into game 2. So going into game 2, James is actually going to make me go first, which is actually Blue Hybrid's weakness. I'm not going to hatch my Digi-Egg just because I'm actually in a rough start. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Sorenjo, putting him to 4. Now James has 4 memory to work with, and that's actually really good for him. He's going to be able to Digivolve on his Raising with the Bushiagu. Then he's going to go ahead and play the Kari on the board, which is really good. He's going to put himself to 1, then actually chokes me to 1 by playing the Analog Youth. He will top 3 check and add the Pokemon to hand, so that's really good on his end. I'm going to go ahead and start off with 1 memory. I still don't have a rookie. I'm going to go ahead and top 3 check with the Davis. Unfortunately, I hit a Matt and I also hit a Tommy, but I'm able to add the Kumamon. I'm putting him to 3. And he still decides to leave his Bushy Agumon in his Raising, which I can respect. I mean, I would want to maximize the value too on top of that. And if I'm playing against Blue Hybrid, I could swing into a Tommy, so that would be bad on my end. James does decide to go ahead and play the Pokemon on the board, top 5 check. He's going to be able to add the Rihimon and the Matt Ishida Memory Tamer, putting himself to 0. Then from the looks of it, I think he wants to go ahead and drop another Pokemon, since that's the top card of his hand. But going through it again, yeah, he's going to go ahead and drop another Pokemon. He's going to top 5 check, hitting both a Tamer and a Hybrid again. So those are really good hits actually. He just wants to go ahead and confirm what he wants to add, which is, I believe, the Loimon and the Koichi. Now I'm going to start off with 5 memory because the double Pokemons are on the board with no sources, which is really good on my end. But I'm going to have to Digivolve my Sorenjo into a Kumamon, then Digivolving over for a Korikakumon to stun one of them. Then I finally drew my rookie, put it in Raising, then Digivolved my Korikaku into the Beowulfmon, putting myself to 1. Now I'm able to bounce the other Pokemon that I didn't stun back to his hand while swinging into Security. So I'm just checking my hand really quick to make sure that I can really extend or overextend any plays. But it looks like I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to swing, I'm going to bounce the one that's not stunned. I do swing into the Cherubimon, so it's actually going to die, which is pretty unfortunate. Then passing my turn, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Pokemon on my board. Going to top 5 check. I do hit the Tommy and I hit 3 other hybrids. I'm just checking my hand to see what I want to go ahead and add. It looks like I wanted to go ahead and add Cherubimon, but I decided to add the BT4 Cherubimon instead just because I do need to search for more Tamers. So I'm going to bottom deck everything else. Now James is going to go ahead and start off with 2 memory. He then decides to go ahead and promote his Bushiagu. Then he's going to play the Blinding Ray, putting him to 4 by trashing the top Security. Now he's going to go ahead and finally swing with Bushiagu. That way he can proc off the Upamon Inheritable effect. It doesn't die, unfortunately, so that's pretty much a problem I have to deal with on the board. Then he's going to go ahead and push up his Kari into a Loimon, still gaining the additional memory, so he's still at 4. Digivolves into the Rihimon, going to be at 3. And so at this point, I would assume that he wants to go ahead and attempt to swing into my Security. That way Rihimon can die and recycle Kochi back on the board. But he's going to go ahead and drop another Kochi on the board actually, putting himself to 0. And then he's going to go ahead and discard his Matashita. I guess he doesn't need it anymore. Then he finally decides to swing with his Rihimon. And it does swing into a Howling Memory Boost, so unfortunately it won't die this turn. And then he's going to go ahead and put me back to 3 anyway by playing another Pokemon on the board. He's going to top 5 check. He does hit the Loimon, which is perfectly fine, but he's actually bottom decking another Cherubimon, so I guess he won't be able to go into that play. I'm going to promote my Madoki Betamon, and then from here I'm going to actually go ahead and start building on my Davis, thinking if I'm able to play this out correctly, if I have the memory to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Kumamon on top of my Davis. I'm going to gain my 2 memory back, so I'm going to be back at 3. Then I'm going to go ahead and trash the bottom source from Rihimon. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into the Beowulfmon for 1 cost only, putting myself to 2. I'm going to pop the Howling Memory Boost to put myself at 4. And then I'm able to go ahead and Digivolve into my Azulongmon, putting him to 1. Then I'm going to be able to trash both his sources, and I'm going to gain 4 additional back because he has 4 Digimons on the board with no sources. I'm going to swing to Security for 5 checks, And if nothing in security is able to wipe out my board before it hits its last security, that's going to be pretty much game. And yep, that's game. Boko for game, guys. GG, James. Congrats on getting second place. That was a really fun match. And so we're going to go ahead and try something out new here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and show James's deck profile right over here, starting now. You guys can go ahead and pause that, take a quick look, and then I'll post mine right after. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Lobomon for Games signing out. Peace.